Hello, my name is Warren Mead, and I am the ambassador for several neighborhoods here around Lake Merritt, including Clinton and Bella Vista. And I am showcasing some of the most interesting and enlightened people who live and work in these neighborhoods of Oakland, these beautiful neighborhoods. And so today I have with me Lisa Gibson, who is a physical therapist who specializes in orthopedics and sports medicine. She holds a doctorate in physical therapy from the University of Colorado, and has helped me personally through several sports injuries over, I think, probably the last 10 years, it seems like. Started with ankles and went from there. So yeah, so Lisa, tell us, like, how did you get into physical therapy? And
what I first want to say is Warren is an amazing patient. Talk about someone who's so fun to be able to do education and just soaks it right in. But I got into physical therapy because I love movement. I loved my anatomy courses. I loved the sciences. And so PT was this perfect blend. And I should back up a little bit too. What I actually had my undergraduate degree in was psychology. Mm-hmm. So physical therapy was this opportunity to really kind of create this interdisciplinary career. And sports and orthopedics is what I specialize in. So what that means is I treat the spectrum of conditions from post-surgical, someone's had their hip replaced, their knee replaced, shoulder surgery. And I would say right now, actually, I'm seeing a lot of patients who do have a lot of cumulative stress injuries. So think bad work ergonomics, as well as chronic pain, which commonly is low back pain has really been a big condition that I treat. Also, if someone develops muscle imbalances, then a lot of times those go undetected. And so, for example, if one hip is a little bit lazier, if you will, than the other, if you think about walking, how many steps you take over the day, years, etc., that can start to create strain in the whole lower extremity chain. So that's certainly a fun part of what I do. Is I love to troubleshoot, see people move.
The body, would you agree? I mean, the body is meant to move.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And so, do you find that some of your clients may not actually realize that in the beginning, or think that not moving and resting is better for their healing than actually trying to push the body to get stronger around an injury? Or like, how do you approach that type of thing?
I think, well, there's definitely a lot of education. So depending on the nature of the injury and how acute and irritable it is, these are all things that we need to consider and how we design a treatment program. So in the early stages, it might be that you do need to train someone to protect the injured site. But at the same time, we're trying to provide other options for maintaining mobility in other parts of their body. So for example, if someone had surgery, obviously, let's say a total knee replacement, obviously we need to protect the surgical site. We need to control the inflammation. So and it goes both ways. Sometimes you have the patient who's like, you know what, I think pain is no pain, no gain. I'm going to push through it. And those are people that you need to kind of pull back and explain that there's a physiological process happening outside of your timeline. It has its own timeline. And then, yes, it goes the other way too, is there's individuals that are scared to move. And so in that case, you might have to be a little bit more graded in how you introduce movement to them to show that it's safe, and then to also do some coaching on the sensations that they might feel, because they might interpret some of those sensations as dangerous or that they're harming themselves. So again, that's part of the fun about being the PT, is like the troubleshooting on what's causing the symptoms, whether it be pain or decreased mobility, and then interacting with that person and meeting them where they're at. And so there's so many different personalities and levels of gung-hoedness, for lack of a better word,
Yeah,
you know, and how people approach, you know, their rehab.
I would imagine your psychology studies and interest in psychology has helped you with that in a lot of ways. Helping, you know, a desire to understand where the client is coming from. And what, you know, how can your message land on them based on their fears or their experiences, their life experiences.
Exactly. I'd like to think that I'm trying to seek first to understand, then be understood.
Yes. How do you visit people's homes, right? So you'll do the work you'll come to their places.
Right.
Okay.
So right now I'm working for, as an independent contractor with a company called Luna Physical Therapy. And so through Luna, I'm able to treat in patients' homes. It's outpatient physical therapy in the patient's homes, which is something that I really wanted to do. And I'm really thankful for this opportunity to do it because especially when you're dealing with chronic conditions or people who underwent surgery, there's so much that can be done in how they're supporting themselves. For example, when they're sitting, you know, watching TV, reading, how they're sleeping, how they're using the computer, how they're sitting,
sit up straight.
You know, should have had a pillow here. So you know, short of like going into someone's homes, you really don't know, and someone might be inadvertently choosing non-optimal alignment. That's, if anything, maybe it's not the whole picture as to what's going on, but it certainly is going to be a piece of the puzzle into what's going to make them feel better.
It makes sense. You know, that's where they live. So you're able to see what chairs they sit in, how, you know, sit down and show me how. For me, like you had me lay in my bed, right? And you weren't in there with me, but
Be clear.
But I, you know, you were able to see how I was sleeping on my side or how I was using my pillows. Very useful.
And especially since that's where you were saying that you had some of your symptoms.
Exactly.
So, and that's a big part of it too, is part of the evaluation is understanding like what are the aggravators, what's contributing to the symptoms, at least as best as you can. And sometimes people are like, I don't know. So it's kind of definitely trying to train people to be their own detective, like starting to paying more attention to when they have their symptoms. And then of course, if someone's telling me I have, let's say, numbness when I'm sleeping, I'm going to want to see how they're setting themselves up in bed.
Excellent. So you live here in Oakland.
I do.
So how do you like it? Do you love your neighborhood, or are you?
Yeah. Well, I do wish I lived by Lake Merritt.
Yeah.
Yes,
you live
this would be my
not too far away.
But I'm not too far away, and I do love my neighborhood as well, and my neighbors. I'm very close to the Leona Regional Preserve, so great access to
I love that spot.
Hiking trails. And there's
what would you call that neighborhood that you're in?
Leona Heights.
Leona Heights. It's a beautiful spot.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So there's a great little trail by the Leona Lodge that will take you up to Merritt College with beautiful views, sunset. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if someone needed to make an appointment with you, just go online to luna.com, or is it Luna Health? What is it?
What I would say actually is to reach out to me directly via my email.
I'll have that posted with the video.
Great. So, and that way, and also, I mean, if someone is unsure if PT is for them or if they think we might be a good fit, I'm happy to have a 15-minute phone consult just to kind of see if
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for spending time, and thank you for.
He's one of my favorite people.
Likewise, thank you for all the help. I've been able to play tennis and ride my bike and hike and do all the things I love to do because of the work that you've done on my body and helping me understand
collaborative. It was a collaborative effort.
And that's probably the best way to work, I think. Too. So, well, thank you so much.
Thank you
all right.
for letting me be here.